Hello and welcome back to HardReset.Info. In this video, I will be guiding you through the setup of OPPO A5m. Let's begin. So, as you can see, we are freshly after performing a hard reset and we have a classic setup screen. So, it will say hello, I will also say hello, and let's begin. We can begin with clicking the arrow and choosing our language. By default it should be English, though as you can see you have plenty of different languages to choose from, and at this point you can also change few accessibility options right here. So basically all you can do is simply magnify the screen so it's a little bit bigger and brighter, and then enable talkback. So let's simply ignore that and let's go with next. We now have to select our region. I'm going to go with United States, even though this is technically a lie, since I am not living in United States. So I can switch to United Kingdom, since it's less of a lie, because it's closer to me. It's not UAE. Never mind, let's just hit next. Now we need to agree to some legal information. And now we can set up using another device. I know that this is kind of a nice shortcut, but we are not having another device, and using this would really ruin the purpose of this video, since I want to guide you through the process of setting up. So we'll go with skip. And now we want to connect to a Wi-Fi. You could potentially skip this, as you can see there is a button, but I would strongly advise not to, since otherwise you will meet a loss of features. For example, anything Google related will be just out of reach. So let us find a nice network. As you can see, this one is 5G, so let's go with that. And let's simply input our password now. Okay, the password is inputted, so let's hit OK. And now we are connecting. And as you can see, we have connected successfully. So let's hit next and let's go further. Now our phone is getting ready. This may take a few minutes. I know by my simple documentation and my previous knowledge of our phones that it doesn't really take a few minutes, but I will pause the recording just in case. Alright, it didn't really take very long, but now we are in copy apps and data. We could potentially go through next, but unfortunately I do not have really anything to use this function, since I don't have other phone I'm coming from. So unfortunately I will have to go with don't copy, but if you do have other phone, and you probably have since you are moving to a newer device, like this OPPO I have in front of me, you probably want to copy all of your applications and data from previous phone. I can't really share this, unfortunately, but we do have other tutorials on that, and the whole process is pretty self-explainable and pretty well explained there. But for now, I will go with don't copy. So now we are checking info on our phone. And as you can see, and if you can recognize the font, this is already a Google-based search. So now we have to log in into our Google account. So let me input my email very quick. Okay, let's hit next. A little fun fact, you don't have to manually input gmail.com, as it will be inputted for you. And now let's do the same thing with our password. And after we've done, we simply hit to next. Now here is a very important process. If you want to give your phone to your child, and if you don't trust them enough and you want to really go with whole parental control thing, you want to select my child will be using this device, and then you will go through the configuration of family link. I am not going to show this, since we do have other tutorials on that, and generally speaking, most people will probably check this thing anyway. And I want this video to be as commonly used as possible. So let's hit next. Now we have to agree to terms of service, play terms of service and privacy policy. As you can see, you can't really disagree, otherwise you just simply won't add this account, so we have to agree. But of course we're not going to read that. Who reads those? Am I right? Have you ever really read anything like this? You can share them down in the comments if you did, because I'm really curious. Now we are getting our account info. This shouldn't really take long, but I will also pause the recording. Oh, I actually didn't even make it too. So, the unlock method, it's pretty self-explanatory. We could potentially skip this, but let's go with a simple password. Let's go with pattern. Of course, there is important notice that, hey, if you ever forget it, you are screwed. So, thanks for noticing me that I am screwed. I will go with a simple L shape. Of course, you can do with anything else you want, or you can even select anything else. I went with pattern, you can go with pin or password or whatever. And now we have the Google services. By default, these are all checked on. So we are automatically sending usage and diagnostic data. Many people don't like it, so I will go through the process and simply disable this option, since, as I said, many people don't like it. The same things can be set with allow scanning. While on its own, it's technically nothing bad, it has a little downside of wasting your battery. So let's simply disable it once again. And I could also disable use location, but location is pretty important and I am not going to disable it, nor will I advise you to disable it, since, for example, you never know when you will lose your phone, or how you will do it, or if you will ever do it at all. But it's nice to have a little thing that can save you, since Google Find My Device exists, and if you disable this location, you won't be able to use it. Then, of course, you won't be able to find your device in case you will lost it. So let's simply go with accept. Now we have backup our device. Now it's very important. You should probably leave this on. I will uncheck it, since this way we are saving space on our Google accounts. Since, as you can probably guess, we are a pretty big channel and we have few Google accounts that are spread across all of different devices we've ever recorded. But you, as a normal user, should probably enable both of the backups and then go with turn on backup. It's an incredibly handy feature, and it's also correlating nicely with what I said before about you never know when something will happen to your device. Maybe it will froze to death, maybe it will break, maybe you will lose it. And if anything of these happens, then you will also lose all of your memory, all of your data, everything, every single image and photo and etc, etc. But if you have this enabled, you can always go back to them. So I will go with the backup, you should go with backup. Now we can choose our browser and search engine. It's pretty self-explanatory. I'm going to go with a simple Firefox, to be honest, and to Google as my search engine. This whole process is only a part of your liking. Now we can continue setup, since there is nothing too complicated now. Meet Gemini, your personal AI assistant. Of course, we can continue and we can go with no thanks. Now, technically you could enable it if you are really a user of such things like AI assistants, etc. I am not, so I will go with no thanks, but you can turn it on. Now we can go through the process of setting up our Google Play. I am not going to do that, since that would require me to basically dox myself and show my credit card credentials on the video, so I'm not going to do that. But it's a pretty nice way for you to pay for stuff, so yeah, you should probably want to click next. I will skip it, and these don't matter, so I will go with no thanks. And now we are finally getting our phone ready for usage. And this is what showed up. We can enable auto update overnight, global search, auto update system apps, and lock screen magazine. Also a few other things. I will, for example, disable AI service engine, since I am not a big fan of AI. This is turned off. We can disable this. We could potentially disable this as well. Global search is pretty okay, so I will leave it. Auto update overnight is debatable, but I will leave it on, and auto update system apps sounds pretty useful. Of course, once again, it's all off. You can do enable or disable these like whatever floats your boat, to be honest. So let's hit agree. I will leave with gestures since I think gestures are pretty cool, and we press get started, which the button almost works, and boom, we have now successfully went and gone through the setup. Now, if you want to know a few first things that you want to do after the setup, I would strongly advise you to watch other video exactly named like this, first things to do after setup, since I will be recording it right now. But for this video, it's all. If you found this video useful, remember to like and subscribe, and as always, thanks for watching.